So I want to shoot a quick video to walk you through a process of webbing up the laminator. So I have the Ally Armour G164-HA. The HA stands for heat assist. The roll of material I'm laminating today is our brand new Brightline Wrapcast high initial tack. Like all my jobs, I want to make sure these print samples come out amazingly well. So before I go through the web up process, I'm going to take half a second here and clean up my roller. So I got a small little remnant scrap of material here. What I'm going to go ahead and do is expose the self-adhesive, just a leading edge, maybe an inch or two, and then I'm going to fold over my backer paper, give myself a solid leading edge. So just fold over my backer paper, gives me something to hold, somehow steer my material. I'm going to place it on my loading tray here, drop down my roller, and then right where my laminate's going to go, or my print film is going to go through the laminator, I'm going to go ahead and start it up. I'm initiating this process with a foot pedal, because with this laminator, when you're using the foot pedal, the safety sensor doesn't operate. If I was trying to initiate or hit it to auto run, the safety sensor would be activated, it would be blocking it. So initiating this process with a foot pedal, obviously keep my fingers out of the way. And so now that print film stuck onto my roll, and now I can peel this off, and that's going to take away all the odd little bits of dust and debris that might have accumulated in my roller, and it's going to allow my print film to run through there nice and clean. There we go. So that pulled out any last little remnants that would have been left over on my roller, has it nice and clean. So now my roller's nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and raise up the roller. I'm going to put my print film right in between the two rollers, all the way to the back side, and then I'm going to pull this through all the way to my take-up reel. So I already went ahead and somewhat justified all my print rolls to each other, but now this is where I'm setting my final destination. So my take-up reel, I want to make sure is even with the edge of my material on here, all good to go. I'm going to take one single piece of tape and tape it here in the center, and then this is going to hold that print film in place so I can complete the rest of the process. At this point, I can put a little bit of tension on my print film, but my roller is still in the up position. So at this point, I got my print film webbed up through the back. I'm going to do the exact same thing here with my laminate. So I still have the backer paper attached to my laminate film. I'm going to bring it all the way around the back and then repeat that same process. I'm going to pull my laminate film nice and taut, and I'm going to put pressure on this roller of my print film so I can make sure the two sides are even with each other. I'm going to apply one piece of tape right over the top of my print film that's already taped to the core here onto my laminate. And so now that I got both my print film and my lamination film webbed up here, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of tension on it and then drop down my roller using the button on the front side of the machine. For this scenario, I'm probably going to use my slitters because this laminate is slightly wider than my print film. So if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and get my slitters ready. This bar here needs to be raised in the up position to be able to utilize your slitters. That raises your print film and laminate in the up position so that you can then activate the slitter, drop it down to whatever position you need it to be as the film is running through the laminator. Be real careful with these slitters. They are exposed blades, so as you're moving your hands back there, make sure you don't get anything caught. But because I'm in that scenario where my print film, laminate's slightly different size, I'm gonna go ahead and activate my slitters into that up position and be ready to go. So the next section I'm going to show you is how to start that backer paper, get myself ready to go. I'm going to expose the sticky side of this film lamination. So what I'm going to do is snap off a couple sections on my blade here so I have a nice sharp blade, and then I'm going to use that sharp blade to cut through just the backer paper, not the film lamination. So keeping steady, consistent pressure all the way across here. I want to cut through. The reason I pulled it away is so that I'm not going to accidentally cut through my roller, but I'm cutting just that backer paper, which will allow me to remove the backer paper from the sticky side of the film lamination. So that's going to allow me to expose just the sticky part of my film lamination. Before I move on to the next step though, I want to prep myself with my take-up reel for my backer paper. So with one piece of tape, I'm going to make a full revolution around that roll, make sure it's tacked down, and then reverse direction so I'm exposing the sticky side of my masking tape, which will then pick up onto my backer paper. So now continue to remove the rest of my backer paper from my print film, and then activating the foot pedal to get things set into motion here. When it comes up to it, things are moving along. That's when I stick my backer paper Again, right from the center. The key here is doing everything from the center so you get nice consistent pull with your film, your lamination, and your backer paper going through the machine. So now's the time to take a look at things and see how they're lining up. So you can see over here, like I said, this film lamination's a little bit wider than my print film. So I want to engage the slitter on this side. Now this is a really cool feature about the Ally Laminator. I can place that slitter down, it starts doing its job, but then I also have a small adjustment here where I can adjust left to right how much that slitter is cutting. So I can get that blade right up to just cutting the film lamination. And there we have it. It's just removing that little bit of extra laminate that's on this side. So now I got 3 tension adjust knobs over here on the right hand side, and what I want to do is try to balance out the tension. So a lot of folks think the more tension they put on the front, it'll pull the material taut. That's not really what I'm going for. I want to have minimal amount of tension in my print film going into my machine. Likewise too, I'm balancing the tension of the print film going inside the machine. So if I see any uneven wrinkles happening on my print film going through here, these are the 2 adjustments that I'm going to make here. The 3rd adjustment is for the backer paper. You see I got a couple inches where my backer paper is breaking from my print film. That means there's a little too much tension happening here. I'm running this print film with a little bit of that heat assist to kind of soften the glue on there. I don't want to have unsuspended film. You know, film that doesn't have the backer paper attached to it is more likely to stretch. If I stretch this film as it's going through, it's going to kind of create additional tension in my film. So by having this backer paper break while it's in contact with my roller, it allows me to add that heat assist on there and still give me a nice consistent roll between there. But you can see by the waves forming across here, nice even waveform. I have a symmetrical kind of boat wave pattern forming over here that matches with what's happening on the other side of the printer. So it looks like my tensions are nice and balanced, but that's what I'm looking for as it's webbing through. Things make themselves real clear the first couple of feet as it's rolling through the laminator. I do have the option of turning up my speed a little bit here. I can definitely run a little bit faster, but again, the faster I run, the less activity that heat assist roller is going to do. So anytime I'm using a cast film with a heat assist, I'm not running it at full speed. If I was just doing a calendared film and I'm using it to mount, that's when I can blast it through with speed, but I want to give it time, that dwell time for that heat to activate the glue, soften things up, and really marry my print film and my laminate together. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, the best way to get good with the laminator is practice, practice, practice. This technique that I showed you for webbing up is just one of many different ways of webbing it in. I'm gonna shoot some more videos to show you different ways of setting up your laminator and utilizing your laminator to its fullest potential.